What's up, guys? I'm coming at you with another video here on DDL, which is ding dong. So I have an idea, which I already made a play on this, and I know I'm a little late, but if you actually looked at my trading view, the last, well, I'm in a few trades. I'm in hour and I'm in DDL right now. I tried BWV. It did rip up to my 710 area. I didn't take the profits and then I got stopped out. But DDL is the one I'm looking at. I entered below at 456, 455 area, and I had some buys around the 450, but my main targets were 520, and I'll show you why. Reached close to it, but basically, you know, we can see that right now at the bottom of this trend, because obviously this thing, if you look at it, I don't know if it was like a reverse split or what the hell is going on, but what we can see is that we obviously made a double top up in the 730 area here, but during all this, we had a very nasty downswing. We chopped around, made kind of like a bear flag. We ripped down again. We started making another bear flag here, what it started to look like. But if we look down, we can obviously see the breakout. But if we look down to the 1 hour time frame, which is where I ended up getting a nice entry in, was that we could see, similar to DWAC, but without this like kind of straight down. But it is similar if you looked at DWAC's daily chart. This is only on an hourly, so it's an even smaller push. We can see a nice double bottom. So what I was looking for was I saw this double bottom progressing here, and we started pulling up. We were trending here around this 448. We ripped up, and we were starting to get a push right into this resistance line, which is kind of this falling wedge of some sort, right? Between these peaks here, all this chop here. And what did we do? We ended up ripping through it. So the target of a falling wedge actually brings you all the way up to the top of the wedge, which is around 730. So that's, you know, a potential area that I'm looking to sell some shares. But I did already start to close some position. I might be a little bit soon closing it, but I wanted to get out a little bit in this 520 area. That was my original plan. Now, of course, this thing can continue up. But one thing that I was looking at was this pattern here was some type of, you know, bear flag or something, right? And we were chopping on this line. We could, honestly, we could bring it down a little bit more to see support, support, support. So although we have a bullish pattern of this, you know, falling wedge here, I am a little bit concerned for the fact that we have now tapped my area of concern so far, which was that 520 area. And that's why I played it, because I was like, we have a nice double bottom. We might come back and retest this previous support as new resistance. So if this does continue up, then that would be excellent. And then the next area, I have it marked out as 536, but if we wanted to gain some extra profits, we could probably at least go up to this 550 area, right? Because this is where most of the chop happened, right? We had a lot of wicks coming up. And then eventually when we pretty much chopped in here until we smacked into this resistance line, and that pushed us down. And then we double bottomed, and we ended up pushing through, back testing that as support, and now we're ripping. So that's actually a good sign, but this is gonna be a huge area right here. So if we can actually break through this, you know, 530, 523 even, and we actually started chopping on this area and using it as support, this could bring us as another push up to reach this 550, 551, as high as this 568. And then obviously the same goes. If we were to, hey, we got in here, we used it as support, we ripped up to this 554, we came back down and we actually back test this 530 again and start holding it as support, that could potentially bring us for a breakout of this, which would push us up. So those are the things to watch. If you want to draw this out on your chart, it'll be extremely helpful for you to see what's actually going down. And this is what I like to do. So right now, it's kind of in a bearish territory, because if we see a strong rejection, we might end up having to come back down and retest some 445 area support, and then continue, see if we can do something different from there. That would obviously, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But there, you know, we can see all these rejection candles coming in on this 1 hour, but it could still be just making a smaller, you know, a flag of some sort, because you can see we've had this kind of like push, little sideways consolidation, push, back test of this resistance as support, push. Now we're kind of flagging out. If we rolled back down, we're looking at the 453 to 450 area. Maybe it would then get another push and retest it again. But like I said, I took off half of my position already right here. Could call it early, but that's just what I'm seeing. And I do like it to come up to this 550, and I'll take more there. And then if we retested that and confirmed it as support, then maybe I have to add to my position and say, hey, we might be going up to that 730. So I just wanted to put this one out there. I hope it's not too confusing. I hope that all made sense. I've been doing that with a lot of stocks. I look at their previous trends, where they fell, where they chopped around, found support, found resistance, and then broke. And that big break is really something that'll help us to figure out where could we come back to, because what happens in most trends is when you break a support, a big support, especially on a daily pattern or something like that, when you break that support, you have a pretty nasty fall, but then you usually trend back up, you tap that, you flip it to resistance, and then you break down again for a lower low. So if you can figure out that, you can usually find a way to start noticing that channel trend beginning, and then be like, all right, I'm going to take it here. This is looking pretty good. Even though it's a bearish trend, I'm going to bring it back up, wait for that retest. I'm going to sell it there, and maybe even put a short in if it does show a clear rejection. But yeah, so I hope this makes sense to you guys. So yes, I'm still finding longs. I'm still playing longs, but that's really how I'm playing them. I'm playing them for a retest of previous support as potential resistance and looking for most likely a rejection. And if it does blow off and go completely nuts, perfect, that's fine by me. I'll keep some of my shares and bring it all the way up. But I'm not sitting here like, I'm gonna hold this thing till 730. I'm not selling a dime, because the way that this market's going, when you do that, you lose all your profits, and before you know it, you're in the red, negative 150, 200 bucks, whatever. You don't wanna do that. So that's how I'm playing it. And I hope this was helpful, but this is DDL. So keep an eye on those levels, because buying it here could be a little risky right now. Obviously we have to do some of that stuff that I said, or wait for this break of 552 and see if we can confirm that, and then you could play it up to 730. That's a good $2 move right there. Just got to be patient. But yeah, so that 520 right now, 520, 530 area is going to be big for me, and I'm not going to make this video any longer. Smash up that like if you made it to the end. Peace.